Jack Harrington had never imagined dog walking would change his life. But as the autumn rain pelted down on him while three energetic golden retrievers tugged at their leashes, he found himself smiling despite the water seeping through his worn-out sneakers. The sticky note on apartment 512 door had been simple. "Dog walker if interested, please call," followed by a phone number. Jack had been desperate enough to call immediately. "Heel, Winston. Easy, Bella. Come on, Duke." Jack commanded, his voice firm but kind as he navigated the wealthy neighborhood that felt worlds away from his modest two-bedroom apartment across town. The dogs responded to his authoritative tone, falling into a more manageable formation as they approached the park. At 32, Jack's life hadn't gone according to plan. A former construction manager, he'd been laid off when his company downsized 6 months ago. With a 7-year-old daughter to support and child support payments to his ex-wife, he'd been taking whatever work he could find, handyman jobs, food delivery, and now, apparently, dog walking. The dogs belonged to Amelia Bennett, a woman he'd never actually met in person. Their arrangement had begun 3 weeks ago with a brief phone call. "I have the flu," she'd explained, her voice hoarse. "I can't walk my dogs and my regular walker quit unexpectedly. Could you help for a few days? I'll pay well." Jack had agreed immediately. The few days had turned into weeks, with all communication happening via text messages and payments appearing in his Venmo account, generous payments that had been a godsend for his tight budget. "Your dogs are living better than me," Jack chuckled as he unleashed the golden retrievers in the empty dog park. Despite the rain, the dogs bounded joyfully across the wet grass, their golden coats darkening as they splashed through puddles. Jack checked his phone, a text from his daughter Lily's after-school program reminding parents about the upcoming science fair. He sighed. Between job hunting and piecing together enough gig work to stay afloat, he barely had time to help Lily with her project, a fact that filled him with guilt. "Time to head back, gang," he called to the dogs after they'd burned off enough energy. As they walked back toward the luxury high-rise where Amelia lived, Jack wondered about the mysterious woman who could afford such expensive dogs and generous payment for their care. He pictured a wealthy retiree, perhaps a widow with more money than she knew what to do with. The doorman at the building nodded in recognition as Jack approached. "They're looking good today, Mr. Harrington." "Thanks, Carl. Still no sign of Miss Bennett recovering." "I wouldn't know," Carl replied with practiced discretion. "But her assistant dropped off the key for you earlier. Said to just let yourself in, feed them, and leave as usual." Jack nodded, taking the key and heading to the elevator. The dogs seemed to know they were heading home, sitting patiently as the elevator ascended to the 5th floor. When they reached apartment 512, Jack unlocked the door and was greeted by the now familiar elegant decor, minimalist but expensive-looking furniture, large windows overlooking the city, and tasteful artwork on the walls. He unhooked the dogs' leashes and filled their water bowls, then measured out their premium dog food into 3 ceramic dishes. As he worked, he heard a sound from deeper within the apartment, a cough, followed by shuffling footsteps. Jack froze. In 3 weeks of dog walking, he'd never encountered the elusive Miss Bennett. He straightened up, unsure whether to announce himself or quietly leave. Before he could decide, a woman appeared in the doorway. She was in her early 30s, with tousled auburn hair and pale skin. Despite being wrapped in a fluffy bathrobe and looking decidedly under the weather, there was something striking about her. Dark circles underlined her bright green eyes and her nose was reddened, but Jack was surprised by how young she was. "Oh," she exclaimed, startled. "You must be Jack, Miss Bennett?" he asked unnecessarily. "Sorry, I didn't mean to intrude. Carl gave me the key, said to feed the dogs and let myself out." No, it's fine," she said, then doubled over in a coughing fit. The dogs immediately rushed to her side, concerned. Jack instinctively stepped forward. "Are you okay? Can I get you anything?" She waved him off. "I'm fine. Just this stubborn flu that won't go away. Honestly, I thought I'd be better by now." She looked at him properly for the first time. "The dogs look happy. You must be doing something right." Jack smiled, suddenly self-conscious about his rain-soaked appearance. "They're great dogs, very well trained," Not always, she laughed, which triggered another coughing fit. Sorry, I should get back to bed. Thank you for taking care of them. No problem, I hope you feel better soon. She nodded and retreated back into the apartment. Jack finished up with the dogs, giving each one a scratch behind the ears before letting himself out. As he rode the elevator down, he found himself thinking about Amelia Bennett's green eyes and wondering why such a young woman lived alone in such a large, expensive apartment. The next morning, Jack dropped Lily off at school before heading to a job interview at a warehouse. The position paid less than his previous job and offered no benefits, but he couldn't afford to be picky. The interview was brief and impersonal, and Jack left without much hope. His phone pinged as he walked back to his car. A text from Amelia Bennett. Dogs need walking around 2 p.m. if possible. Extra pay for short notice. Jack quickly responded affirmatively. He had planned to spend the afternoon sending out more job applications, but the extra money would help with Lily's upcoming school trip. When he arrived at Amelia's apartment building, Carl informed him that Miss Bennett is feeling better and working from home today. Indeed, when Jack entered the apartment, Amelia was seated at a sleek desk near the windows, her laptop open and papers spread around her. She looked much better than the previous day, dressed in casual but expensive-looking loungewear, her auburn hair pulled back in a loose ponytail. "Jack, thank you for coming on such short notice," she said, rising from her desk. "I have a video conference in 15 minutes that I can't miss." "No problem," he said. "Glad you're feeling better. Getting there," she smiled. "Still not 100%, but at least I can function." As Jack gathered the dog's leashes, he noticed the papers on her desk, complex financial charts, and what looked like corporate reports with Astro Tech Industries emblazoned across the top. "You work for Astro Tech?" he asked, surprised. Astro Tech was one of the largest tech companies in the city. Amelia hesitated for a moment. "Yes, I do," she said simply. "Cool. They're doing amazing things in renewable energy tech." Jack had applied for several positions there over the past months, all without response. Amelia looked at him with new interest. "You follow the industry." "I try to. I used to be in construction management, but I've been trying to pivot to something with more stability." Jack wasn't sure why he was sharing this with her. Before Amelia could respond, her laptop chimed with an incoming call. "I should take this. The dogs have been cooped up all day. They could use a good run." "I'll make sure they get one," Jack promised, clipping leashes onto the eager retrievers. When he returned an hour later, Amelia was still on her video call, her voice carrying from another room. Her tone was authoritative, decisive, different from the softer way she'd spoken to him. Jack quietly fed the dogs and left, texting her that everything had gone well. That evening, as Jack helped Lily with her homework, his phone lit up with a call from an unknown number. "Hello, Jack. It's Amelia Bennett. Oh, hi, is everything okay with the dogs?" "They're fine. I actually called about something else." She paused. "You mentioned you're looking for something more stable than construction. What's your background exactly?" Jack was surprised by the question but answered honestly. "I have a business degree from State. Spent 8 years in construction management before the layoffs. I've been applying everywhere, but it's been tough. Astro Tech has an opening in our facilities management division. It would utilize your construction background, but it's more focused on sustainability initiatives for our buildings. Would you be interested?" Jack sat up straighter. "Absolutely. I've actually applied to Astro Tech several times." "I thought you might have." "Send me your resume directly and I'll make sure it gets to the right person." "That's incredibly kind of you, thank you. The dogs trust you," she said simply. "I trust their judgment. Good night, Jack." 2 days later, Jack received a call from Astro Tech's HR department scheduling an interview. He continued walking Amelia's dogs daily, though she was now recovered and often working from home when he arrived. Their interactions were brief, but increasingly comfortable, evolving from simple exchanges about the dogs to casual conversations about their days. Jack never mentioned the job referral, and Amelia didn't bring it up. But he noticed how she would sometimes watch him interacting with the dogs, a thoughtful expression on her face. The day before his interview, Jack arrived to find Amelia sitting on the floor with the dogs, looking distressed. "Everything okay?" he asked. "Winston's limping. I think he might have stepped on something during your walk yesterday." Jack immediately knelt beside the golden retriever, gently examining his paw. "There's a small cut here. Do you have a first aid kit?" Amelia retrieved one from the bathroom, and Jack carefully cleaned and bandaged the wound. "He should be fine, but we'll skip his walk today. Might want to have a vet look at it tomorrow if he's still limping." Amelia watched him work with evident approval. "You're good with them. Have you always had dogs? Growing up, yeah. Can't have one now. My apartment doesn't allow pets, and between work and Lily, I wouldn't have enough time." "Lily, my daughter, she's 7. Something shifted in Amelia's expression. "I didn't realize you had a child." Jack smiled proudly. "She's the best thing in my life. Her mom and I split up 3 years ago, but I have Lily half the time." "That must be difficult, balancing everything as a single parent." Jack shrugged. "It has its challenges. That's why this job interview tomorrow is so important. A stable position with regular hours would make a huge difference for us." Amelia's eyes widened slightly. "Your interview at Astro Tech is tomorrow." "Yeah, I'm nervous but excited about the opportunity." "You'll do well," she said with a certainty that surprised him. "Just be yourself." The next day, Jack arrived at Astro Tech's impressive downtown headquarters in his only suit slightly too tight across the shoulders after years of construction work. The interview was with 2 people, a facilities director named Marcus and a human resources representative. Both were professional but warm, asking thoughtful questions about Jack's experience and approach to management. When they asked why he wanted to work at Astro Tech specifically, Jack spoke passionately about the company's commitment to sustainability and innovation. "I want to be part of building the future, not just buildings," he concluded. Marcus nodded approvingly. "One last question, Mr. Harrington. How do you balance professional demands with personal responsibilities?" Jack thought of Lily. "I believe that being a good parent makes me a better professional, not a less dedicated one. I'm organized, efficient, and I understand priorities skills I've honed through parenthood. My daughter deserves my best, and so does my employer." After the interview, Jack texted Amelia that he wouldn't be able to walk the dogs that afternoon. He had promised to attend Lily's school presentation. Her response surprised him. "No problem. How did the interview go?" "I think it went well. Thanks again for the referral." 3 dots appeared, disappeared, then reappeared. Finally. "Would you and Lily like to walk the dogs with me this weekend? The boys miss you, and there's a dog-friendly festival in Riverside Park." Jack stared at the message, unsure how to interpret the invitation. Was this a job obligation or something more personal? Either way, Lily would love meeting the dogs she'd heard so much about. "We'd like that," he replied. "Lily's been begging to meet them." Saturday dawned clear and crisp, perfect weather for the outdoor festival. Jack and Lily arrived at Amelia's building promptly at noon. Lily bounced with excitement as they rode the elevator up. "Are the dogs really big? Are they friendly? Will they like me?" She peppered her father with questions. "They're very friendly, and I'm sure they'll love you," Jack assured her. "Remember what we talked about, let them sniff your hand first, and don't make any sudden movements." When Amelia opened the door, the 3 golden retrievers immediately swarmed around them, tails wagging furiously. Lily giggled with delight as Winston gently licked her hand. "You must be Lily," Amelia smiled. "I've heard a lot about you." Jack was struck by how different Amelia looked today. Instead of work clothes or loungewear, she wore jeans and a casual sweater that highlighted her green eyes. Her auburn hair fell in soft waves around her face, and she wore minimal makeup that emphasized her natural beauty. "Your dogs are so cool," Lily proclaimed, already sitting on the floor surrounded by the retrievers. "Dad says you're their mom," Amelia laughed. "I suppose I am. And your dad has been helping me take care of them." As they walked to the park, Lily took charge of Bella's leash, chattering nonstop about school, her friends, and her recent science project on plant growth. Jack noticed how attentively Amelia listened, asking thoughtful questions that delighted his daughter. The festival was bustling with dogs and their owners. Food trucks lined the perimeter, and various pet-focused vendors had set up booths. They spent hours wandering through the event, stopping for ice cream and watching a dog agility demonstration that left Lily awestruck. "Can we train Winston, Bella, and Duke to do that?" she asked Amelia. "We could try," Amelia smiled. "Would you like to help?" "They'd probably learn faster with your assistance." Lily beamed with importance. "Yes, Dad and I could come over and I could help train them." Jack caught Amelia's eye over Lily's head, expecting to see discomfort at his daughter's presumption. Instead, he found a soft smile and something that looked like hope. As the afternoon waned, they found a quiet spot under a tree. Jack spread out the blanket Amelia had brought while she unpacked a surprisingly elaborate picnic from her backpack. "You didn't have to go to all this trouble," Jack said, eyeing the gourmet sandwiches, fresh fruit, and homemade cookies. "I wanted to," she replied simply. "It's been a long time since I've had a proper picnic." While they ate, Lily regaled them with stories from school. Eventually, she wandered off to watch a nearby bubble artist within sight but out of earshot. "She's wonderful," Amelia said, watching Lily chase bubbles. "You've done an amazing job with her." "Thanks," Jack smiled. "It hasn't been easy since the divorce, but she's resilient." "Kids adapt better than we give them credit for." "My parents divorced when I was 12, Amelia offered. "It was messy, nothing like how you and your ex handle things." "We try to put Lily first. It helps that Melissa, that's my ex, has remarried a decent guy, makes the co-parenting easier." Jack hesitated before asking, "What about you? Ever been married?" Amelia shook her head. "No, never found the time, honestly, or the right person." She looked down at her hands. "Work became my life, especially after my father died and I took over the family business." Jack froze. "Took over the family business." Amelia's eyes widened slightly, as if she'd said more than she intended. After a moment, she sighed. "I suppose you should know, I'm not just an employee at Astrotech, I'm the CEO." Jack stared at her, processing the information. The luxury apartment, the expensive dogs, the authoritative tone he'd overheard during her video conference, suddenly, it all made sense. "You're Amelia Bennett, the Amelia Bennett. I've read about you in business magazines." She nodded, looking uncomfortable. "Yes. But most of those articles get me wrong. They paint me as some ice queen or ruthless businesswoman. And that's not accurate. Parts of my life got lost when I took over Astrotech after my father died. Simple things like picnics and dog festivals. Real connections with people who aren't trying to get something from me." She looked at him directly. "When you started walking my dogs, you had no idea who I was. You were just kind to my pets and then kind to me when I was sick. Do you know how rare that is in my world?" Jack was still processing the revelation. "So the job referral was completely legitimate," she said firmly. "I would never have suggested it if I didn't think you were qualified. Marcus was impressed with you, by the way. He called me after your interview." Jack wasn't sure how to feel. Part of him was intimidated. He'd been casually chatting with a woman who ran a multi-billion-dollar company. Another part felt slightly manipulated, though he couldn't pinpoint why. "Why didn't you tell me?" Amelia looked over at Lily, still playing nearby. "At first I was just sick and didn't think it mattered. Then I enjoyed being just Amelia with the dogs, not Amelia Bennett, CEO, and then," she trailed off. "Then what?" Jack prompted. "Then I started looking forward to your visits," she admitted quietly. "I liked how you spoke to me normally, how you cared about my dogs, how you talked about your daughter with such love. I was afraid if you knew who I was, that would change." Jack considered this. "I don't care about your job title, Amelia. I care that you just spent your Saturday making my daughter happy. I care that you pack enough treats in your pockets to reward 3 dogs for good behavior. I care that you notice when Winston's limping and worry about him." Their eyes met, and something shifted between them. Before either could speak, Lily came bounding back. "Dad, Amelia. They're doing dog portraits over there. Can we get one of Winston, Bella, and Duke? Please?" The moment broken, they packed up the picnic and spent another hour at the festival before heading back toward Amelia's apartment. Lily, tired from the excitement, held Jack's hand while Amelia managed all 3 dog leashes with practiced ease. At the building entrance, Lily yawned widely. "Can we visit the dogs again soon?" Amelia glanced at Jack. "I'd like that if it's okay with your dad." "I'd like that too," Jack said softly. 3 days later, Jack received the job offer from Astro Tech. The salary was generous, more than he'd been making in construction, and the benefits package was exceptional. He accepted immediately. That evening, he walked Amelia's dogs as usual, finding her home when he arrived. There was a moment of awkwardness as they both acknowledged the new dimension to their relationship. She was now, technically, his boss's boss's boss. "Congratulations on the position," she said. "Marcus said you were exactly what they were looking for." "Thank you. It means a lot, this opportunity." Amelia hesitated. "Jack, I want to be clear about something. Your job at Astro Tech has nothing to do with whatever this is between us. The facilities management division is entirely separate from my direct oversight. You'll report to Marcus, who reports to the operations director, who reports to me. There's no conflict." Jack appreciated her directness. "I never thought there was, but I'm glad you said it anyway." "So," she said, suddenly seeming nervous, "would you like to have dinner sometime? Just the two of us?" Jack smiled. "I'd like that very much." Their first date was at a small, unpretentious Italian restaurant, Amelia's choice, as she was tired of fancy business dinners. Over pasta and wine, they talked for hours. Jack learned about the pressure Amelia had faced taking over Astro Tech at 28 after her father's sudden heart attack, and how the dogs had become her emotional support during those difficult years. Amelia learned about Jack's childhood in a working-class neighborhood, his struggle to put himself through college, and his deep love for building things with his hands. They discovered shared values: a work ethic, honesty, and a desire to make a positive impact on the world. "I've never dated anyone with a child before," Amelia admitted as they walked back to her apartment. "It's intimidating." "Lily's the most important person in my life," Jack said honestly. "Any relationship I have has to work with that reality." "I wouldn't want it any other way," Amelia replied, slipping her hand into his. "She's wonderful, just like her dad." Their relationship developed slowly and carefully. Jack began his new job, throwing himself into the work of making Astro Tech's facilities more sustainable. Amelia made a point of never interfering with his professional life, though they sometimes joked about the double takes his coworkers would give if they knew he was dating the CEO. Lily quickly grew attached to both Amelia and the dogs. Weekend outings became a regular occurrence, hiking trails, beach trips, or simply spending time at Amelia's apartment, where Lily had appointed herself assistant dog trainer. Jack worried initially about introducing Lily to someone new, but his daughter's intuition proved sound. "Amelia doesn't talk to me like I'm a baby," she confided in him one night. "And she listens to my stories even when they're really long." 4 months into their relationship, Jack was helping Amelia prepare dinner at her apartment while Lily played with the dogs in the living room. As he chopped vegetables, he realized how comfortable he felt in this space that had once seemed so intimidatingly luxurious. Now it just felt like Amelia, warm, elegant, and unpretentious despite its obvious expense. "I've been thinking," Amelia said casually, stirring the pasta sauce. Jack looked up from the cutting board. "Your apartment doesn't allow pets," Jack laughed. "Random observation, but yes, that's true. And Lily loves the dogs." "Also true." Amelia took a deep breath. "And this place is really too big for just me and 3 golden retrievers." Jack put down his knife, suddenly understanding where this was headed. "Are you asking us to move in with you?" Amelia turned to face him fully. "I'm asking if you would consider it. I know it's soon, and there are a million practical considerations, but I love having you both here." "The apartment feels like a home when you're in it." Jack stepped closer to her. "You know, Lily and I come as a package deal. I'm counting on it," she smiled. "I think I'm falling in love with both Harringtons." Jack's heart swelled. "I think this Harrington has already fallen for you, Amelia Bennett." He leaned down to kiss her, only to be interrupted by a small voice. "Are you guys being mushy again?" Lily stood in the doorway, Winston at her side. "Because if you are, Winston and I are going to go play somewhere else." Amelia laughed. "We were just talking about something important. What would you think about coming to live here with me and the dogs?" Lily's eyes widened. "For real, like all the time?" "Only if you want to," Jack said quickly. "Would I get to help walk the dogs every day?" Lily asked seriously. "Absolutely," Amelia nodded. We need a good assistant dog walker." "Then yes," Lily bounced with excitement. "Can we move tomorrow?" "Not quite that fast," Jack laughed, pulling both Lily and Amelia into a hug. "But soon." 6 months later, Jack stood on the balcony of what was now their shared home, watching as Lily and Amelia played with the dogs in the park across the street. The move had been an adjustment for everyone. Jack had worried about maintaining his independence. Amelia had struggled with sharing her space after years of solitude, and Lily had experienced some confusion about the new family dynamic. But day by day, they'd built something beautiful together. Jack had been promoted at work based on his own merits. Amelia had found a better work-life balance, often leaving the office at reasonable hours to spend evenings with her new family. And Lily had blossomed, her confidence growing with the stable, loving environment surrounding her. Jack's phone rang. Melissa, his ex-wife, confirming plans for Lily's upcoming birthday party. Their co-parenting relationship had improved too, with Melissa expressing genuine happiness about Jack finding someone who cared so deeply for their daughter. As he ended the call, Amelia and Lily returned with the dogs, all of them slightly muddy and laughing. "Winston found a puddle," Lily announced, as if this explained everything. "And then Winston helped everyone else find the puddle too," Amelia added, looking down ruefully at her splattered jeans. Jack took in the scene, his daughter's joyful face, the woman he loved covered in mud but laughing, the 3 dogs panting happily, and felt overwhelming gratitude. A year ago, he'd been desperate, taking any job he could find, including walking a stranger's dogs. That night, after Lily was asleep, Jack and Amelia curled up on the couch, the dogs at their feet. "I have something for you," Jack said, pulling a small box from his pocket. Amelia's eyes widened. "Jack, it's not what you think," he smiled, opening the box to reveal a key. "It's the key to my old apartment. I turned it in today. The lease is officially over." Amelia's eyes filled with tears. "So this is really home now." "It has been for months," Jack said softly. "But yes, officially, completely home." "I never thought I'd have this," she whispered. "A family, people who love me for me, not for my company or my position." "I fell in love with the woman who cared more about her sick dogs than about looking professional on a video call," Jack said. The CEO part was just a surprising bonus. Amelia laughed through her tears. "And I fell in love with the dad who took on dog walking to support his daughter, who treated animals with kindness, and who saw me when I felt invisible." She leaned her head against his shoulder. "Thank you for walking my dogs that day." "Best job I ever took," Jack murmured, kissing the top of her head. On the floor, the 3 golden retrievers sighed contentedly in their sleep, as if agreeing that things had worked out exactly as they should.